This is the power scaling guide for My Disciples Are All Villains, covering the entire known hierarchy from the secular nations up to the final cosmic threats. The story begins in the lower realms where the absolute ceiling for any native cultivator is 5 leaves. Any cultivator at 5 leaves is considered a living legend, a false god who rules nations and commands armies. The gap between each leaf is immense. A 5-leaf expert can crush dozens of 4-leaf masters without effort. The lower nations are desperate to break this cap, but cannot because their bodies, spiritual energy, and techniques are too weak. This creates a political landscape where rulers hoard resources, betray each other, and worship visitors from higher realms for even a chance at 6 leaves. Lu Zhou starts at 8 leaves, which makes him an anomaly that shatters all local power structures. The weight class system governs fights among cultivators of the same leaf stage. Fighters are divided by chi density into classes from flyweight to heavyweight, and reach, footwork, and fighting style determine outcomes. A long-reach outboxer can kite a heavy brawler, a kick specialist can destroy a boxer's base, and a grappler can shut down anyone who gets too close. Sneaky attackers using poison, illusions, or hidden weapons can upset heavier opponents. But at 5 leaves, these tricks are still within physical limits. This detailed matchup matrix makes battles tactical and exciting even before the cosmic scaling kicks in. Beyond the 5-leaf cap, the superior humans from the higher realms completely ignore weight and reach. At 6 leaves, a cultivator can fly, create pocket dimensions, and live over 1,000 years. They feel like a natural disaster, and their chi ignores physical distances. At 7 leaves, they can stop time locally and resurrect others. At 8 leaves, they rewrite local reality, which is Lu Zhou's tier. At 9 leaves, they travel between dimensions and destroy planets. At 10 leaves, they manipulate causality. At 11 leaves, they create universes and exist in multiple places at once. The known apex is 12 leaves, but that is not the true end. Beyond 12 leaves, the system shifts from leaf counts to light wheels, and the cultivation reaches the realm of Mitian Shendi. Lu Zhou eventually manifests a blue Dharma body of 14 leaves and achieves 12 light wheels, making him the supreme existence in the verse. The final antagonist is the 11-leaf Taishu Mingxin Dadi, the master of the sacred palace and a 9-light reincarnation cultivator. He absorbs the 10 great primordial rules to reach the divine emperor level. His power is conceptual, based on law and fate, and he can declare rules that opponents must obey. The final battle involves reality warping and time loops, and the evil leader is defeated not by raw power but by betrayal from within and Lu Zhou's system bypassing fate itself. The ending is rushed and open-ended, with the 9th disciple suspected of being possessed, leaving many mysteries unresolved. Yet the journey is well-paced and fun, with the protagonist's strategic and resourceful nature shining throughout. A key limitation of Lu Zhou's power is that his merit system runs on finite resources. Every reversal card, cultivation boost, and instant skill costs merit points that are not infinitely renewable. This is why he avoids direct confrontation with a giant octopus in the sea. He could defeat it, but the cost would drain his system reserves, leaving him defenseless against the greater threats in the higher realms. He is a calculating strategist who prioritizes long-term survival over short-term glory. He finds alternative paths, using his disciples and exploiting weaknesses, rather than wasting precious system energy on fights with no lasting benefit. This resource management is what makes him a compelling protagonist and sets him apart from reckless cultivators. The power system is rooted in a golden lotus with leaves representing cultivation stages. Absorbing monster hearts and treasures allows forced reblooming, pushing a cultivator beyond natural limits. The transition from leaves to light wheels marks the pinnacle where cultivators become creators and destroyers of reality. The entire framework from mortal soldiers to cosmic deities is structured by leaf count, conceptual class, and system hacks. This guide captures every level, from the 5-leaf national rulers to the transcendent 14-leaf existence, making it a complete reference for understanding the power dynamics of the story. 2 American reference points provide useful comparisons for this power scaling framework. The first is the Dresden Files by Jim Butcher, which uses a tier system ranging from lesser talents to godlike beings. At the lowest level are paranet talents and apprentices who are barely above human capability. Above them are wizards and knights who can destroy buildings and fight supernatural creatures. The mighty tier includes the summer and winter ladies, dragons, and the fallen, who operate at city to continental levels of power. The godlike tier contains the higher queens and Vaderung, who can reshape landscapes and influence weather patterns. At the absolute top are the mothers and archangels, who exist at multi-continental to universal scales and can answer specific questions about reality itself. Harry Dresden himself typically operates at human to small building level, though he can punch above his weight class with preparation. The second reference point is the Cradle series by Will White, which is the benchmark of Western progression fantasy. Its power system uses a clear advancement path from Foundation to Monarch. Foundation and Copper are the lowest tiers, barely above mortal limits. Iron and Jade represent street to city block level fighters who can shatter stone and move at superhuman speeds. Gold is divided into low, high, and true, with true golds capable of destroying buildings and small armies. Underlord, Overlord, and Archlord represent mountain to island level power, with each step representing a qualitative leap in authority over reality. Above Archlord are the Sage and Herald tiers, who operate at continental to planetary scales. At the peak are the Monarchs, who can destroy mountains with a gesture and reshape entire regions. Above even Monarchs are the Abaddon Judges, who exist at universal and multiversal levels, capable of creating and destroying entire iterations of reality. Lyndon, the protagonist, starts at Foundation and climbs through each tier, with his progression from Copper to Monarch serving as a clear parallel to Lu Zhou's journey from 8 leaves to 14 leaves. These two American series map cleanly onto the Leaf system. The Dresden Files' lesser talents and apprentices correspond to 1 to 2 leaves in the lower nations. Wizards and knights align with 3 to 4 leaves capable of threatening cities but not nations. The mighty tier matches 5 to 6 leaves, where beings become regional powers. The godlike tier corresponds to 7 to 8 leaves, where reality begins to bend. The mothers and archangels sit at 9 to 10 leaves, operating at cosmic scales. For Cradle, Foundation through Jade maps to 1 to 4 leaves. Gold through Underlord aligns with 5 to 7 leaves. Overlord through Herald corresponds to 8 to 10 leaves. Monarchs sit at 11 to 12 leaves, and the Abaddon Judges surpass even that, reaching the 14-leaf and light wheel territory that Lu Zhou ultimately achieves. This cross-reference shows that while the naming conventions differ, the underlying progression from mortal to cosmic power follows a similar trajectory across Eastern and Western fantasy traditions.